Mock the Week, I'm Dara Breen. Joining this week are Andy Parsons, Ben Narson, Russell Howard, Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Michael McIntyre. OK, we start with headliners. Here's a picture of Lib Dem leader Sir Mingus Campbell at his party conference in Brighton. But what does PMOC stand for?
Is it the Lib Dem leadership options? You've got pissed man or corpse.
Is it please, memory old, can't...
It's horrendous, doesn't it? He looks terrifying. Didn't I kill him on level 3 of Resident Evil?
Is it please make Orville cooperate?
Is it Peter Mandelson's oldest conquest?
No. OK, the C stands for Campbell.
Problems mount on
Pressure
Campbell.
mount on Campbell!
Pressure mount on Campbell! The answer I was looking for was pressure mounts on Campbell. This is a subplot to this week's conference. Sir Mingus set out his policies on environment, taxation and economy. Questions continue to be asked about his leadership and poor performance in the polls. What problems has he faced at the conference?
He's an old bastard, Dara. He was the guy who founded the Ming dynasty.
It does come down to that, doesn't it, basically? I mean, you know, he can say whatever he wants, but you just find yourself going, yeah, he's old, though, isn't he? I had somebody in a pub the other day, it was horrific, go, yeah, he's got some good policies, but I bet he don't know how to use an iPod. And you're like, as if that matters in any way. Kind of go, what are you going to do about immigration? Shuffle?
It's not even so much that he's just old, he's so sort of lifeless and lacks energy. There's more life left in Robin Cook. He's got one white blood cell left and it's fighting the Alamo. Look at him, no wonder Flash Gordon won every week.
He is the same age as Paul McCartney. And who would you rather have running the country?
Well, yeah, probably him, actually, to be honest.
Isn't it? Surely if anyone's praying for an early election, I mean, he must be praying for an early election. It's number 2 on the list in his prayers after painless death. Early election.
Who prays for a painless death every night?
Surely every morning and every night. He says he wants a greener vision of Britain.
Yeah.
Now, he's going to have a greener vision of Britain, isn't he? Because soon he's going to be looking up at it through about 6 inches of grass.
But that's the
Surely they'd bury him deeper than that. What kind of cheapskate funeral home is he going to?
He's only 66.
I know.
That's ancient.
That's all he
Jesus.
is.
Ming has said he wants to hammer the rich people.
Yeah.
He said he wants to hammer the top 10% of earners. And people going, well, you know, you'll never get people to vote for increases in tax. Well, I think if it's just increases in tax on the top 10%, then people will probably be going, maybe we will vote for that. The rest of the 90% of us going, Sodom. You know? How you feel about that as host of a top television show, I don't know.
Sodom. They're not getting in, are they? They're not getting in. Okay.
But see, that's the interesting thing, because he can say he's going to hammer the rich, but ultimately the rich own the media. So that's why there's photos of him near toilets looking really old. So there's absolutely no chance of
That
him
photo
winning.
near a toilet, by the way, will probably be the most famous shot.
there you go.
This is the shot you're going to see everywhere with regards to the Liberal. Him just pointing at a toilet. Pointing at a toilet and combined exercise machine, where you can clearly sit down and isolate your pecs. I do a couple of reps just as I'm on the push-out. Inhale and push it.
The new abdominizer.
Here's a quote from Mingus. If you ever put me in one of those ham-slicing machines, you'd find the top half Liberal and the bottom half Liberal Democrat. You're going to go...
What an incredible thing to say.
Well, A, who goes into a ham-slicing machine for a start? Surely you mean in one of those machines that cuts you in half, not one that slowly grinds you down through a series of really tiny
He'll
slices.
still be alive after this. I mean, it just shows you he is a zombie.
That would be amazing.
No wonder you couldn't kill him on that part of Resident Evil.
That would be great.
At the conference, and they said, please welcome our leader, and everyone's expecting a very boring speech once more. Menzies Campbell, whatever he's called, and his legs come out 2 minutes before his body. Liberal Democrat, come on! Bring out the cheeky girl!
He's got a 4% approval rating. Mein Kampf, which is nothing. Right? So they could just have anybody lead them. It's not going to make any difference. So I say, come on, let's get Lee from Blue. He's not going to be any worse.
He's looking for a gig.
Yeah.
He's got to be.
And also his policies aren't going to come into force and say whatever he wants. I think that the homosexuals should declare war on the robots. Doesn't matter. Lee from Blue, bit of a laugh.
And also, his name is very odd. His name is Mingus.
Mingus, yes. Goss. Yeah, Mingus.
Yeah, but it's pronounced... It's spelled M-E-N-Z-I-E-S.
Yes.
Well, why are you looking at me like I'm insane?
He's got a
That's
weird name.
Menzies. Menzies.
Yeah.
John Menzies.
But apparently...
Menzies. Apparently, let's go to John Mingus. They don't do it. But what do you do? Martina Hingis. Martina Hengis. Why are you still looking at me like I'm not making sense? It's a G, not a Z.
Because I'm waiting
It's
to
a Z,
turn
not
on
a
me
G.
and my crazy ethnic name.
When they were growing,
some
it's
crazy.
Men Z. That's not G. When they were growing, there's fundamentally something wrong with this man. He can't speak. He doesn't understand his own name. When he was growing up, hello Ming, shall we go to the Goo and see the Gebra? What are they talking about? Should we catch Gulu Dawn and maybe get to Gingerburger? It's a nonsense.
In fact, you should pronounce it John Mingus. Apparently, it's to do with a defunct Scottish letter Zog. Yeah, you couldn't make that sort of crap up, could you?
It shows you how boring the Liberal Democrats are. It's more interesting to talk about the defunct letter Zog.
How does a letter become defunct? And if you're
We didn't
using
need it. Yeah. We had enough of Zog.
All right. What's going on here?
Big conga. They're having a massive conga.
That is a queue outside Northern Rock, somewhere where there's a Northern Rock.
That is the queue, yes.
Old people,
Yeah.
because they're the only ones with savings, and they've got more money than anybody knew. How much money have these badly dressed old people who send you £1 for your birthday? It's unbelievable. I get a little cut. I get a cheque for £10 from my grandmother, and look at these people. It's unbelievable. Well, I've got £1.2 million in there. Buy yourself a new fleece. Look at the state of you. It's unbelievable. They're not homeless people. And they say, I'm worried I'm going to lose everything. You should be more worried about announcing on national television that you've got £1 million in your tartan trolley bag. So there are homeless people going, can you spare me any change? No, only got cash. 1.2 million.
And the thing is, they're now wandering about northern town centres with all this cash, so everything else is falling, but the values of Greggs must be going through the roof. I mean, commodities brokers this week are going zinc's down, tin's down, yum-yums £3 each.
I'm also convinced, when I saw these pictures, I'm sure that half of them are just there for fun. So why are you queuing? I've no idea, but it's great, isn't it?
Is somebody on the news? Yeah. That looks like fun. Let's have a bit of that. Oh, and what now? The banker backing our money will be able to queue to put it back in again.
It's impressive, because this is how you as a nation panic. You line up in an orderly fashion and wait for 8 days to get a draft. It's impressive. Like.
They're taking little chairs.
You see footage of like a Latin American bank collapse, and there's people like picking up bins and throwing them to a window. That's how it was in I think it was Argentina the last time the bank collapsed. None of that up in northern towns. It's all like, yes, well, you know, we've been here all morning. It's been very pleasant, actually.
Well, before we move on, can I just say this picture is far sadder than any of us have realised, because this woman at the back in the red dress is paying £8 in.
My favourite story was apparently Newcastle United are sponsored by Northern Rock.
They are.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the chance come Saturday. You know, you only sing when you're queuing. Where's your money gone? Where's your money gone? You're going down with the Alliance in Leicester.
I didn't even know that banks borrowed money. This has come as quite a shock. You go to your bank, you borrow money, you expect that institution to be giving you money. It comes as quite a shock to me that people are in there going, can I borrow £5,000? And then they're going, just bear with me. You know when they always get up and they go away? They're on the phone in the back going, is that Ocean Finance? Good luck, I'd like to borrow £5,000. Yes, I am a homeowner.
At the end of that round, the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Michael. Now we play a round called Northern Mock. This game involves Michael, Andy, Frankie and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performance stand-up skills. We spin the news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes. The winner is the team I judge to produce the funniest stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is health. Going to volunteer, Frankie.
Part of the side effect of the smoking ban in Scotland is that every pub, no matter how terrible or horrible, now has tables and chairs outside it. Basically, Glasgow looks like Paris after a nuclear war. People say there's no such way as a good way to die, and those people have never heard the phrase drug-fuelled sex heart attack. There's a great case in Scotland at the minute. A guy had a sex change, and he had everything chopped off. And then he decided that he wanted to change back. And they wouldn't let him. So he went to the European Court, and they said, OK, you can change back. Now he's changed his mind again. Wants to stay as he is. Typical woman.
Frankie Royal. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is the West Country. Who? Russell.
How can you not love the West Country? I've genuinely seen graffiti in Bristol during the last Tory campaign. Do you remember, are you thinking what we're thinking? Somebody had written underneath it, is it, do I like what's-its? It's phenomenal. It's wonderful, isn't it? I used to live there. I've moved away from Bristol because I was near a dogging site, which is just a bit odd, right? And, all right, I wasn't into it. I was just near a dogging site. And I was talking to my friend. I was like, Jane, why do they do dogging near the house, right? And she looked and went, apparently you got really great views of the Clifton Suspension Bridge. And you're like, well, you've got faith in humanity, haven't you? Just the idea that I tell you what, it's only when you're doing the nasty in a Cortina that you can truly appreciate the work of Isambard King of Brunei. That, my friend, is craftsmanship. Shall we? Wonderful.
Thank you very much, Russell. OK, we're left with Michael and Andy. Let's spin the wheel again. The next subject is North-South Divide. There goes Michael.
Right, yes. Now, I am from the south. Have you noticed? I have been north up the M1, and I don't know what happens to the word the. It seems to disappear at about junction 25 on the M1, and the word the just goes, that's it from me, I'm getting off. You go on ahead. Are you coming with? No, I'm not interested up there. And then you get there, and they don't have, they say, oh, to fridge, oh, you're going up to, what are you doing? My first experience of this was when I went to the cinema in Leeds. I saw The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. I had more fun asking the woman what it is I'd booked to see than watching the entire movie itself. So what is it I'm seeing here today? Took one, took witch and took wardrobe. What's he talking about? Are you hearing this? Are you taking toothpaste? Yes, of course. I thought it might be a nice idea maybe to go to HMV and get a DVD of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, maybe The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, and perhaps an album by The, and just line them up on the counter. What is it I've decided to purchase here? Took one, took witch and took wardrobe. Took good, took bad and took ugly. And took. Thank you.
Well done, Michael. OK, Andy, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And it's religion.
Looks like my dad. We should, of course, remember that there are 5 major world religions. 4 of them got to be wrong. Imagine that, right? You're on your last day, you're going off to meet your maker. The gods of the 5 major world religions lined up in front of you. You've chosen your god. You're happy with your god. You go up to your god, and your god produces a little bit of cardboard bluff. That is going to hurt, isn't it?
Well done, Andy Parsons. And
At the end of that round, the points go to Michael and Frankie.
The next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Michael, which category would you like?
I would like the category of crime, please, Dara.
OK. Crime it is. The answer is 25 pence. What is the question?
What is the British name for American rapper 50 Cent?
Is it how much did Ming Campbell pay for his first flat?
If Angelina Jolie looks $1 million, what does Amy Winehouse look like?
Is it just £1 will save a child's eyesight in Africa? But having decided it's not really my responsibility, how much did I send?
Is it what everyone over 30 thinks a Mars bar costs?
How much would I have to be paid up front to kill Jeremy Clarkson?
What fee guarantees Dean Gaffney's appearance at a party?
What's top prize on Romanian Deal or No Deal? Can I just take the box?
I'm going to steer towards the correct answer. Does anyone actually have any idea what was worth 25
It's something to do with money, isn't it?
It's
And
something to do with money. It's to do with the real cost of something that was...
It was Viagra.
Absolutely right. Yes, the question I was looking for... Yes, the question I was looking for is how much were a criminal gang paying for fake Viagra tablets that they later sold for up to £20 each. Several members of an international network were found guilty of making millions from producing counterfeit Viagra and anti-baldness tablets at factories in Asia. How's the scam uncovered?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It doesn't grow your bloody hair back.
It was uncovered by excellent work from Customs and Excise, apparently, whereas it should have been uncovered by someone going, hang on a minute, I'm sure something's meant to happen.
I took Viagra once. I took Viagra and I had a hard-on for so long I had to give it its own shelf in the fridge.
Did anyone see the News 24 reaction? It was fantastic, because it just came out, news just in, and they found out about the Viagra case, and it was brilliant, because they were doing little puns. They were generally kind of going, I bet that's a hard case. They'll get a stiff sentence, and then you could genuinely see they obviously got a word in their ear, and they went, yeah, OK.
Why? If you set up a counterfeit Viagra ring in which you basically spam people and say, I've got Viagra for you, why bother making... like dodgy pills? Why bother making them at all? Just send them nothing. They're still not going to complain. Like, if they're not going to complain when the pills didn't work, they're also not going to write and go, I sent away to your company via Viagra pills and now I didn't seem to receive any.
It's now apparently the biggest selling drug in the world. Apparently, us boys, we think about sex once every 6 seconds. Now, that might be true some of the time, mightn't it? But it's not actually true when we're having sex, is it? We're trying to think of everything apart from sex. Traffic accidents, mortgage repayments. John Prescott, that's my own particular favourite. But you know when you're shagging away, right, and you've got this mental image of, say, John Prescott, and you're trying desperately not to get overexcited, and you do get overexcited, you feel dirty, don't you?
Do you know what, Andy? Next time, I'm going to be thinking of you, thinking of John Prescott.
You'll feel dirty. It's great we've got a drug to help old people have sex, isn't it? I love old people who've got that little twinkle in their eye, you know, and you're there playing Scrabble with your grandparents, and your grandpa puts down Viagra on a double word score and just goes...
I wonder about that old woman that gave birth at 63. Because that baby can't have had to force its way out. Every time she went for a shit, it probably had to brace itself. Well, at the end of the Italian job or something.
Which former American hero is in trouble again?
Batman.
It's O.J. Simpson. He's completely mental. You gotta love O.J., man, because he held some people up allegedly at gunpoint to get back some of his memorabilia, And his memorabilia is worth a lot because it appeals not only to sports fans but also to crime fans.
There is actually, it panned across some of his memorabilia, and there's American footballs that are signed, and there are like jerseys that are signed, and there's photograph of him in court at his own murder trial that he signed in order to be sold for memorabilia purposes.
What does he worry about that?
Keep smiling, O.J. Simpson. And a picture of him in the glove.
It's a pity that they've done away with Celebrity Big Brother, isn't it? Because he'd have been brilliant on that. Day 63, OJ is painting a version of the Guernica using the intestines of Charlie from Busters.
He wrote a book, it was like a year ago, entitled If I Did It.
Yeah.
Which is basically, if I did kill her, this is how I would have done it. And you're like, gee, who's his PR? Charles Manson?
The book has been released, but not by him.
By Murdoch,
the rights to the book, If I Did It, How I Would Have Killed Ron Goldman and My Former Wife, was won in a bankruptcy case by the Goldman family.
Oh, really?
Who then released it with a cover of a big picture of him and the words, I did it, with the word if in minuscule letters. And they've sold 150,000 copies in the first 2 days of release.
Maybe that's
See,
what
the thing is, he was in the hotel for a wedding. Who invites O.J. Simpson to their wedding?
He just jumped out.
Killed his fucking wife.
Maybe he just jumped out of the cake.
The police said it was an armed robbery. He said he was just with some golfing buddies.
At a wedding, yeah.
You know, you don't play golf using guns, do you? You know, oh, do you want to putt this one into the hole? No, I'll shoot it in. That'll be absolutely fine.
No, you can shoot a hole. Oh, I'm a long way from the hole. Maybe that hole. I'll get into this one relatively easily.
They described the robbery as a commando-style operation. You're like, what, a thrill-seeker? Guns and no pants.
OK, at the end of the round, the points go to Russell, Ben and Andy. Our next round is called Newsreel. We play in a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask Hugh to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features David Cameron and William Hague.
Good morning, I'm David Cameron, a.k.a. Mr Popular, winner of the 2007 Tony Blair Sound-alike competition. Not to worry, we have lots of policies. William, thank you very much. And the first policy I would like to introduce is that all bald men should cast 2 separate shadows. Well, those weren't the policies I was after, really. I was thinking more about the policy of beating children to within an inch of their lives and locking immigrants in Harry Potter's fictional Prisoner of Azkaban. Could you... No, I can't. Because what is a policy on immigration compared with a shadow that can do that? When you move across the room, I'm good with shadows. I can use my hand. At the moment, I am doing a flapping bird. Bollocks. I will now continue with a series of impressions. See if you can guess who this one is. Now then. The band was just around the corner of your mind, ladies and gentlemen. Shawada. Nobody wants you to do impressions, William. People don't want you to be Jimmy Savile. People don't want you to be the Terminator. We want policies. The Terminator. Ah, interesting. I am the Terminator. Sent from the future to screw up your electoral chances. Well
done, Hugh. Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way over to the performance area, please. I call ideas for scenarios. We've seen the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things for a royal correspondent to say.
Isn't it wonderful to see Prince Charles being made king at the age of 137?
And the Queen there majestically taking her place in the queue to withdraw her savings from Northern Rock.
The Queen asked me if I was from the BBC. I said I was, and she told me to piss off.
There we see Prince Philip going over to talk to a man from China. This should be interesting.
In fact, it's the Chinese Premier, and he's just asked him for a menu.
Prince Harry hasn't been put off by the congestion charge. He says he still manages to come into Chelsea twice a day.
know the crowd are absolutely loving this event. The night sky is dancing with light. Yes, the Queen set fire to Windsor Castle again.
It's great to see the whole family waving from the balcony through the sights of my AK-47.
And as Prince Philip cuts the tape to open this mental institution, the doctors have got him. They've got him.
The next topic is what a rugby commentator would never say.
Oh, and he skipped through the defence, and that's lucky, because if these South Sea Islanders catch you, they eat you.
It's time for the scrum where the players can have a quick kiss and exchange phone numbers.
And it's the coin toss, and Johnny Wilkinson has sprained his thumb.
And there is a massive tackle. I wish mine was like that.
Not everyone's been able to get tickets for this World Cup final, and we know a lot of you are watching at home. So hello to you, the England team.
Oh, and it's bad news for New Zealand. Rugby doesn't matter.
Keep an eye on this ball as it hits the ground, because it's such an unusual shape, it could go anywhere.
Seal it, bang! Seal it, bang! Kia ora! Kia ora!
All pretence has been abandoned as both teams take to the field naked, covered in lubricant, to the sound of pounding techno.
Thick muscular necks, broken noses and powerful thighs. The rugby wives are minging.
This young man has a brilliant playing career ahead of him, followed by a bleak career as an after-dinner speaker before his suicide at 40.
Well, he is in many ways the perfect fly half. Legs of a human, torso of a blue bottle.
The South Africans there, passing to their one black player, Johnny Token.
So it's England versus Samoa, a team of rank amateurs against Samoa.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. The points go to Russell, Ben and Andy. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Ben Norris and Russell Howard. Commiserations of Frankie Boy, Hugh Dennis and Michael McIntyre. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week for the last in the series with a special show. Till then, I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
Call a character witness who can't stand you. Tommy Saxondale's idea of defending himself in court next tonight. And then another round of Big Talk gets it sorted. More comedy to come here on BBC Two with that Mitchell and Webb look at 10.
Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. It's been a summer of laughter, what with the floods and the plague and the terrorist attacks and all that. It's been so funny, we haven't been able to fit it all into the shows. Here's your chance then to see some of our favourite bits and the stuff you won't have seen. Hope you enjoy it. OK, our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. David, which category would you like?
Science.
OK, your category is science. The answer is serious, risky and heroic. What is the question?
What is telling farmers, you know, it could be worse?
Is it what are Snap, Crackle and Pop's DJ names?
How have people described my recent sex tour of Nigeria?
Very well reviewed in The Spectator.
How would you describe standing in between Judy Finnegan and a free bar?
Is it what are the 3 speed settings on the world's most powerful vibrator?
And you know what the correct answer is?
Or is it about the Russian submarine that's attempted to claim the North Pole?
It's exactly what it is. Well done, Frankie. Congratulations. Yes, the question I was looking for is, how did proud Russian officials describe their country's mission to claim the North Pole? This is the news of Russia has symbolically staked a claim to billions of dollars worth of oil and gas reserves in the Arctic Oceans. 2 mini-submarines carried out a record-breaking dive to plant a flag 2.5 miles below the North Pole, which they believe is directly connected to their continental shelf, which, of course, it is, which is connected to every other part of the planet. Anyway.
There's also a British flag 2.5 miles underwater. It's on the top of Gloucester Cathedral.
Why didn't you get your swimmer guy who swam there a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
Why didn't he just carry a flag in his teeth and just like skip to the other side and go dunk? Oh, by the way, ours.
He was too busy raising money for cancer, this selfish bastard.
I can't believe you're taking the moral high ground out there.
It was a while. God, it looks strange up here.
He was going to get dizzy now and roll down the moral hill. In the week that Russia claimed the North Pole seabed, what has NASA been up to?
Something with rockets, I reckon.
Yeah.
Sending a rocket up and then having it blow up in the sky again, are they?
They're going to Mars, aren't they?
They are going to
And
Mars.
we shall
Yes,
claim it.
It's going to take 9 months, apparently.
NASA should be more realistic. NASA and call their next mission Operation Space Grave. To be honest, though, they get a hard time, NASA, don't they? But without them, they've compiled some fantastic research. Without them, we wouldn't know whether or not a red-hot human skull falling from space can break through the roof of a farmhouse in Texas. Apparently it can.
The Americans...
Do you miss the moral high ground? That was a while ago now, wasn't it?
Cold and dark down here now. Just see the edges of your faces.
OK, speaking of travel, more generally, why have British people been having a hard time?
It's really stressful flying, apparently.
How stressful is it flying?
Well, apparently it's more stressful than driving a Formula 1 racing car, which is hilarious. Just the idea of Lewis Hamilton kind of going, how was it? Well, I was going 180 miles an hour. I had some real pressure from Alonso, but at times it felt almost as bad as being in Heathrow just outside Tyrac.
The whole Heathrow stress thing is just basically overplayed, though, because the media can't get over the irony of it. And it just loves interviewing people at the airport and going, so you're going on holiday and you're expected to have a nice time on holiday in Spain. Yes, we were. We planned to go to Spain on holiday. And what's happened? Well, actually, the opposite of a nice time is being had by us. We're having a nasty time queuing, and I'm not sure where my bag is. Oh, my God, so what, you're expecting a nice time for which you've paid money? Nice, good, in the plus column. Yes, yes. But what actually has happened is the opposite in a nasty, bad thing. When you're expecting a nice thing, a bad... Can you imagine that? That's worse than Hitler.
I don't fly. I'm terrified of flying. And people always go, oh, are you claustrophobic or you don't like the whole experience and stuff. You're like, no, I don't want to be blown to pieces in the sky. There's nowhere I want to visit so much I'm willing to be fired towards it at 700 miles an hour in a tin can full of other people's farts.
Oh, man. But speaking of holidays, what's going on here?
Oh, I saw this.
no,
This
yeah.
is fantastic. That
Very
lady, it looks a bit like Nora Batty. She's 20 stone, and she was having a bit of a sunbathe, which is a lot to get round. But
Do you know where it is, by the way?
it's in Essex.
It's in Westcliff-on-Sea in Essex.
She got stuck, and those two men arrived from a Bond film to...
She got stuck in her deck chair, and then the tide started coming in. And those men are Coast Guard.
Yeah.
She was a danger to shipping.
I've got it. There's a boat on the distance going. Oh.
She turns and goes.
What I don't understand about this is they rescued her, didn't they? And the paper said they got to her just before the tide came in, just in the nick of time. They rescued her from the rising water. Every year there are whales and dolphins and stuff stranded on beaches. They wait for the tide to come in. That's what they want, and they refloat them. Isn't that we should just have floated up with everything? I didn't need to rescue her
just tow her into harbour.
Yeah.
Aren't we here essentially mocking a partially disabled old lady?
He's back up the mountain. Fresh air. Back up the mountain again. He's unbearable when he does that bit. The next round is called Between the Lines and features Hugh and Frankie. Would you make your way to the press pit, please? Frankie delivers a speech in the guise of a leading figure on the world stage, while Hugh translates what they really mean. Frankie, this week, you are leader of the opposition, David Cameron, addressing the nation.
Let me assure you, I understand the pain of the people of Tewkesbury.
We're both up to our necks in shit.
This summer, I have put the Tory party back where they belong.
Third in 2 by-elections.
I have been criticised recently for my poor performances.
I told the wife it's the stress of the job.
I'm not worried about the polls.
They're doing a lovely job in my kitchen.
We Tories believe that marriage is the ideal.
A strong man and a woman who will stand by him during allegations about his homosexuality.
Boris Johnson will make a great mayor. He has a lot in common with London's first mayor.
He's a dick.
I have taken steps to ensure that I will be the next Prime Minister of this great country.
Dear Jimmy. Could you fix it for me?
Let's have a hearing, Frankie! Now we play a game called What on Earth? You're thinking at home, wow, I haven't seen this game before. That's because we never fucking broadcast it. I show the panel a topical image from somewhere in the world and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what on earth is this?
It's Margaret Thatcher meeting Gordon Brown in number 10 Downing Street. He invited her for tea, and it's pissed off everyone in the Labour Party and in the Tory Party. And worse than that, he's having a portrait of her commissioned, naked, holding back a dog.
I'm wondering what the photo actually shows. Is he just trodden on her toe and gone to take that? Seems a bit harsh to an 81-year-old lady.
She's just clapping her hand like that, isn't he? He's going...
You feel sorry. Got arthritis.
Look at how baffled she is.
Yeah.
She thinks she still lives there and that she's a cat. Is this the QE2? I'm Shirley Bassey. Get out of my way.
I feel sorry for Cameron, because it's a bit like Brown's flirting with his ex. Do you know what I mean? He's like some bloke in a pub. Leave it, Dave. She's not worth it. You left her. You left her.
It was portrayed by someone as if there's some sort of high-level political discussions, where it was just somebody coming around and going, I used to live here. Do you mind if I have a look around again?
Tony Blair's last thing, he said we need to have a national debate about whether Margaret Thatcher gets a state funeral. The only debate most people are having is whether or not she needs to be dead before we bury her. Give her a Viking funeral on a scale model of the Belgrano.
Maybe the thing is... It's upsetting because this is, you know, Margaret Thatcher, whatever you think of her, lived in that house for 11 years. And now Gordon Brown has been there for, what, 4 months? They met, this is true, in the Thatcher room. Yeah. It's called the Thatcher room. That's got to hurt. They're sitting at... This is the Thatcher room. I bloody know that. I'm Thatcher. And then he took her on a tour of her own house.
This all on the same day when Saatchi's got given the advertising campaign for the Labour Party. Saatchi's famous for the 1979 campaign, Labour isn't working. So presumably they've just dusted that down, crossed out the isn't, put is, and gone, how about that? The other one apparently that they did was not Flash, but Gordon.
Just Gordon, isn't it?
Yeah. What a wonderful campaign that is, you know. Not merciless, but Ming. You can see them all coming down. You know. Oh, yeah. Not camp, but David...
I think your slogan should be, I'm a slightly different type of...
Our next round is called Newsreel. We play in a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask you to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features the Duke of Edinburgh.
Oh, bloody royal visits. Have you seen the bar? Is there a bar? Oh, the bar. It's in here, is it? Oh, hello. Just through here. Splendid. Could do with the gin. What are you cooking? I tell you what I like to eat. Swan. Lovely swan. Golden eagle. I shoot some of them in Balmoral. Mind you, I tell you what you need for that is a shotgun. Yes. Yes, a bloody big one. I say... can I just say, you really do have a terrific pair of norks. They are. My goodness. Yes. I'm sorry to mention them again. But they are magnificent. Are they your own, or... What's this? Oh, check-in, is it? Oh, lovely, yes. I play this at Sandringham, level 5. I tell you what you have to do. Kick 'em! Kick 'em! That's what you have to do. Oh, dear. No, you've balls that up. Oh, yeah. Oh, look out, it's the fuzz. Yeah. I didn't know it was an osprey. Are you a stripper gam, or... I tell you what I saw earlier. There's a woman in the kitchen who has a terrific pair of norks. Oh, look, lovely, a DVD, yes. Yes, my favourite. Normally I have to go to Holland to buy these. Well, goodbye. Do you want some? Yeah. Yes, well, goodbye. No, I don't know where you've been.
Pointer for you! Now we've an exciting new round called Ask the Panel, which ordinary members of ask questions about something in the news this week. Can we have our first question, please? Who wants to come with a question? That gentleman there, please.
Do any of you smoke, and if so, how have you been dealing with the smoking ban?
No, very easily.
I don't smoke, but apparently the big problem with the smoking ban is BO in nightclubs. And I've thought it through, just put Nicorette patches under both armpits. 2 birds, 1 stone. Also, if they need to put a new smell into nightclubs, you've got to select something that everyone likes. Bacon. Those are my ideas.
I did enjoy Charles Kennedy getting done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he obviously knew the dangers of smoking, not so aware of the dangers of sticking your head out of a train going at 125 miles an hour.
Charles Kennedy probably wasn't even smoking. It's probably like just the alcohol in his breath spontaneously combusted. He's probably like a baby dragon at this stage.
I saw something that was great the other day. There was a bloke outside a pub and he had a cagoule on, right, and he was just absolutely slashing it down, just smoking like that, like a nicotine-obsessed condom. It was fantastic. You'd think he'd probably just quit at that stage.
That's a really good look for you, by the way.
Thanks so much.
Do more stuff like that.
Well, if most people did this, the world would be a happier place. Very difficult. It's very difficult to take something seriously.
Are you talking about...
I want a divorce.
I would probably get it, actually.
Yeah.
How has Blue Peter managed to upset the Tories this week?
Have they changed their name to Red Peter?
They have not.
Have they not?
No, they have not. No.
Is Connie Huck?
It is Connie Huck, yes.
Does she hate him? I don't know.
Does she hate him? No.
Yeah, I tell you who doesn't hate Connie Huck. Hey, Dara.
She's a good girl.
Hang on.
Don't mess with the hook.
What does that mean? Do you fancy her?
He dresses up as I've seen him do it. He dresses up as I've seen him.
Winks at you.
Kids TV kind of thing, and I quite like... she's getting dissed
Right,
at
so
the
you do
moment.
then.
Yeah.
I'm just saying she's...
He loves her, he loves her.
No,
Look at him squirm.
Have you ever met her, Dara?
I've never met her, no.
Is your-
I'm clearly not
Would you
going
like
to
to
happen
sidle
now.
up to her and say, here's something I made earlier?
Dara, does your wife watch this?
Yeah, but she doesn't watch Blue Peter, so I'm all right.
Sticky back plastic.
That actually was just a Blue Peter term. It had no actual gag there. So, yeah, it's very good. You might have just said, shut the dog at that stage.
I was
Anyone know why Blue Peter got grief off the Tories?
Because she did this press conference that was supposedly about how cycling is good, but Ken Livingstone went on about how the Tories are shit, and then it's felt that she was in some way associated with this being a party political press conference when she thought it had been an environmental stroke cycle around press conference, and the BBC apologised in the most sort of pathetic terms to the Tories for having done this, and apparently they have now imposed upon her a new contract where she can't say what she likes anymore. So now Blue Peter presenters no longer have the same human rights as the rest of us.
Ironically, this week on Blue Peter, they're making a voodoo doll of David Cameron.
See, she's got the perfect opportunity, hasn't she? That bit where they're making a present and they go, send your parents out of the room. She can pretty much say what she likes to children. Send your parents out of the room, we're making an advent calendar. Rebel by killing people and blowing shit up.
That's why you don't work in kids' TV, Frank.
The problem was that the Tory councillor believed that was in some way showed that the BBC and Blue Peter were endorsing Ken Livingstone's push for a Lord Mayor of London next year. Do you know the way that Blue Peter viewers, who are aged 8 and 14, are big voters?
Some of them are 8, some of them are 14, some of them around about 35.
35. Don't mess with the hook. Your category is education. The answer is 25 in a row. What is the question?
How many green bottles are standing on Charles Kennedy's windowsill?
Is it for how many years has the UK finished bottom of the Eurovision Song Contest?
Is it how many times has...
We won it in 1997, happen to know.
Did we?
So, that shoots you down, my friend.
Would you like to sing us that song, David?
Well, I would, but unfortunately a court order says I mustn't.
Is it how many times has Dara O'Brien cracked one off on Blue Peter?
It was unfair to draw her into a political battle. I was not going to have a session with the woman or something.
Can a man not form an unnatural attachment to someone they've never met on the television without it resorting to masturbation jokes? just made a little shrine.
And can I point out, stop writing Dara fancies Connie on a piece of paper. I think she's twice been unfairly dragged into political discussions that are not of her doing, and that's what I'm defending here.
I was so shit with girls, though, when I was 18. I was one of those people who sort of hit someone on the arm, because it was a girl I really fancied. And we took her for coffee, and I was sort of sitting next to her.
We took her for coffee?
Well, whatever. No.
There's your error.
No. Anyway, we're having a cup of coffee, and I was about to say, I wanted to say, I really fancy you, I really like you. I didn't know how to do it. So what I did instead was, I had a spoon that I was stirring this coffee with, and I went like, I had no idea why I did it. It's a teaspoon, and I went, I really like you. I hit her on the head with a teaspoon, and instead of, the response which I was expecting was, I really like you too. She went, what do you do that for? She just sort of went down and said, not the way I was hoping.
So in other words, you dabbed her with boiling hot water.
I probably splashed a bit, yeah. There.
I once told a girl
teaspoon.
that I knew how to make banoffee pie in an attempt to impress her. And as if she's going to go, oh, really? That's right. They call me Daddy Pudding. But I went to her house, and I thought, well, I'll just go around. We'll cook banoffee pie. I'm not taking a T-shirt. Who needs that? So I rode, essentially, just in my pants down to her house. And I thought it was just going to be me and her, but her entire family was there. And her dad's like, who's this, Mowgli? And you kind of... honestly, I've never been more aware of my nipples in my life. It was kind of like... And he was a chef. So he goes, yeah, how do you make banoffee pie?
Until I was 30, I genuinely thought that banoffee pie was a traditional Scottish dish from a town called Banoffee. Oh, Banoffee, where we make the pie. We're twinned with a village in France called Pecan.
how cool! It's banoffee, but it's also got banana and toffee. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they made it out of the same word.
I just thought it was too good to be true, and it was.
Because they grow lots of bananas in Scotland, don't they? It's the home of the banana.
Yeah, they've loads of them.
You bastard.
Yeah.
Do you know, I once tried to impress a girl.
I thought it was sad, you know, that they had that pop concert to commemorate Diana. I mean, she didn't have much to do with pop music, did she? They should have done something that celebrated what was really great about her life by staging a gangbang in a minefield. Interesting to see if that makes it in, to be honest.
Hello and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Give a big welcome to the people. Fucking hell. I'm sorry.
It's going to be the best one ever.
The first 5 seconds were brilliant.
Oh, lovely. I'm sorry.
This organisation does not tolerate failure, Mr.
Okay, the first subject is national identity. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I need a piss.
Okay, I'll just give the title again so you can pop it up on screen. Excuse me. Sorry.
I'm a little bored today. I think I may sing the news to you. Oh,
sorry. I'm sorry. Which point we usually ask you if you could now walk like a raptor.
Shall I walk like a raptor?
Go on, for those who haven't been here before.
This is an announcement to any passengers awaiting the 10 o'clock train to Edinburgh, calling at Peterborough, Doncaster, Darlington, York, Grantham, Northgate, Peterborough. Fuck, I fucked that up. It was going to be so funny as well. Oh, it was funny.
what do you think the punishment for queue jumping should be? Do you think A, death, B, deportation, or C, that twat with a buzzer keeps on putting it in the wrong fucking place?
You're just funny. To me, you're funny right from the start, okay? Sorry, Russell, do you want to walk back in the
It's
walk
fine.
again?
It's not going to be very good anyway.
In the week that Osama bin Laden released... for fuck's sake! More of that later. Mock the week.
I foiled him by throwing a banana at him.
Who throws a banana at somebody? Next topic is what you didn't hear at Live Earth.
Live Earth, sponsored by Powergen.
Go home, it's too late, there's nothing we can do!
Yeah, just keep the car running. I'm only doing 20 minutes.
We've managed to power this whole event just by burning orangutans.
Climate change? Let's ask the Pussycat Dolls. They'll know what to do.
Sorry, I'm late. This one's for Diana.
Remember, flush your toilet less frequently. And on that note, Genesis.
Everybody put your lighters in the air.
No, honestly, if the Earth is live, you have wired the plug incorrectly.
The next topic is unlikely letters to be read out on points of view.
Why, oh why is the structure of my chromosomes?
Dear BBC, I watched a light entertainment programme on your network the other night that wasn't hosted by Graham Norton. Is he ill?
Dear BBC, how did you manage to get those hippos to swim in a circle?
Dear BBC, I am a Nigerian general with £30 million to put in your bank account.
Last night, I turned onto your new porn channel, See Boobies.
Dear Points of View, I would like to complain about the weird voice you're reading out my letter in.
Dear Point of View, has anyone else noticed that Pat Butcher looks a lot like the honey monster from the Sugar Puffs album?
Dear Points of View, I watched Silent Witness with the sound off and it didn't make any sense.
Dear BBC, well, it's now 30 years down the line, and I'm no closer to owning a robotic housemaid. Tomorrow's world, tomorrow's horseshit, more like.
The other night, I watched Nigella Lawson and picked up a couple of good tips on baking bread. And in the process, I just about ripped my cock off.
OK.
Read about the things that happen throughout the world. Don't believe in everything you see or hear. Read all about it. Read all about it. It's a world. It's a world. Read all about it. Read all about it. It's a world. It's a world.
Hello, welcome to a new series of Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen, and joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Lucy Porter and Russell Howard, Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Michael McIntyre. Our first round is called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Lucy, would you like to pick a category for us?
Foreign news.
Your category is foreign news. The answer is 1,000,000%. What is the question?
Is it, what is the blood alcohol content of Amy Winehouse?
Is it, after a recent power surge, what did Stephen Hawking say over and over again for 3 days?
Is it how much has petrol gone up since I started this sentence?
Is it what increase in population will Kerry Katona be responsible for by the time her womb finally succumbs to the ravages of time and chicken drumsticks?
I've missed you, Frankie. I've missed you so much.
Is it? How much did exaggerations go up last year?
Could it be, how out of proportion was the reaction to a Brit winning kids Wimbledon?
Is kids Wimbledon like kids Scrabble? Like is it played on a much smaller court, or like those jigsaws that have 4 pieces?
Or, yeah. Or when you go bowling and you get the thing.
Oh, I got it! I got it! It's a train!
How much does Max Mosley's blood pressure go up when he smells leather?
Is it how much happier would I be if I saw a duck moonwalking? I'll be up there. Can you imagine that? Can you picture that image of...
No, in my head he doesn't quack every time. He just does a number of them, knows you're looking, and then turns and goes, quack.
What discount would DFS have to offer to get me in there on a bank holiday Monday?
Is it how much too much are you paying for your car insurance?
Does anyone know what the actual... what the
Is the real answer, what is the rate of inflation in Zimbabwe?
Yes, it is, actually, yes. Very good, Lucy Porter, yeah. Yes, Lucy, the question I was looking for is what is the estimated current inflation rate in Zimbabwe? This is the escalating economic disaster under Robert Mugabe's regime, with prices doubling every hour. Many Zimbabweans are now unable to afford even the most basic supply.
You wouldn't spend too long browsing in a Zimbabwean shop, would you?
I would go so far that you would be very careful what queue you joined in the supermarket.
You wouldn't want to get stuck behind an elderly woman. At the best of times, it's not great. But in Zimbabwe at this time, it's like, that's $38 trillion. Let me see if I have the change.
There was a thing on the news, it was footage of a supermarket in Zimbabwe, and there was a packet of chocolate eclairs for $125 million. Although, admittedly, it was Zimbabwean Waitrose. Do you know that they did a survey this week said that Zimbabwean people are the least contented people in the world? It's just no pleasing some people, isn't it?
They've had an election, they've got loads of money. What do you want, for God's sake?
They've had an election that was so corrupt that second place actually went to Ant and Dec.
The weird thing, though, is in an election where there is only one candidate, he only got 85% of the vote.
See, actually, he wasn't the only candidate. It was himself, there was David Icke, Miss Whiplash, and the Scottish Nationals. Actually,
I think we've dealt with it very well, don't you think? You know, I think, you know, because 90% of the population of Zimbabwe is on food aid, torture, the life expectancy is 37, and what have we done? We've taken away his honorary degree. That's right, we've messed up his CV. You do not mess with us. You know? Next week, we're going to put a red sock in his whitewash. Boom.
To be fair, Russell, we're tightening the screw. We're not going to play cricket against them.
That's right.
And Tesco aren't buying their figs. He's going to come down pretty soon. He doesn't give a shit, does he? He's got a Hitler moustache.
He hasn't.
Nobody who has a Hitler moustache gives a shit about anything. Well, I want to look like Hitler.
It looks like his top lips had a Brazilian. It's more than a Hitler.
The economy was never going to work, though, was it? Because basically, what he did was he took the farms away from the rich people, didn't he? And gave them to the poor people and made the poor people even poorer. It's like Robin Hood, but with no grasp of economics whatsoever. You know, taking farmers away from people who knew how to run them and giving them to people who hadn't got a clue. Have you got any clue how to run the farm? I've got no clue whatsoever. All right, you shear the chickens, I'll milk the horses.
To be fair, though, I mean, people give him a hard time, but he actually, you know, he ran a good campaign. He had a good slogan, vote for me and I won't kill you. And he was very good on Zimbabwean question time. That's a good question. Have him taken away and killed.
I do genuinely, like Frankie says, as you know, in the international community are just sort of making these symbolic gestures, say the EU say they won't recognise the legitimacy of his government, but that is irrelevant. He continues. It's a nonsense. There's no reality in that gesture. It's like taking away Joseph Fritzl's Dad of the Year mug. It's really, it's completely meaningless. And then our big solution to this, as a government, as a nation, as a force, Gordon Brown meets with Cobra to decide, it's the big one, we're going to remove cricket, we won't play you at cricket. Like that, like this is going to, you know, tame criminals, like you're going to have people being sent down for murder and rape. 2 years, no cricket, suspended, no Scrabble. It's a complete nonsense. No French cricket, no cricket of any time. Like Mugabe's going to react to that. Like he's going to go, I will remove myself from government. I already have 2020 tickets. I cannot... Gordon Brown, why you be so harsh with this nation? It's nonsense.
That was an incredible impression.
I just want to say... I know it's difficult.
Can I just say, with that level of impressionistic ability, you're going to fit right in on this show.
Gordon Brown, why you take away my cricket? Okay, let me give you a hint. He doesn't speak as if he's going to turn and play something on the steel drum for 10 minutes.
He does. It went a bit West Indian.
Election and ting.
But did they tally up the votes? They are going to tally the banana.
I've never really heard him speak. Have you heard him speak?
What, so you just made up whatever accent you felt like? Why didn't you give him like a Dutch... Give him a Dutch accent or something. Make it like, give him like a comedy.
I'd alternatively like to do my impression of Morgan Tsvangirai. No. Did you see, though, that he'd apparently gone into hiding in the Dutch embassy? Now, if they know where he is, surely he hasn't gone into hiding. You didn't go, oh, let's play hide and seek, you count to 10, and when you open your eyes, I'm in that tree over there.
Let's be honest, of all the places you're going to hide, once the Colombian embassy are too paranoid to open the door, second place is obviously the Dutch embassy, who are always willing to let anybody in case they have pizza. Just standing there, come on in, man, it's party time, what's going on out there? That's a Dutch accent. That's great. Better.
Very good accent.
I can't tell the difference between the two.
Let's move on. What have G8 leaders been debating in Japan this week?
They've been debating biofuels, for one thing.
Yes.
They've basically decided part of the food crisis to do with biofuels. Biofuels, it's not the greatest idea, is it? Trying to make petrol out of things like maize, given that a third of the world is malnourished. You know, people watching a car going past, oh, crikey, there goes my sodding lunch.
It's a bit much these rich countries going on about food shortages, isn't it? I mean, we're going to be fine. How bad are things going to have to get before we can't afford to shop at Lidl? I once did my entire weekly shop at Lidl in exchange for an amulet made from cat's teeth.
Gordon Brown is there telling us we shouldn't waste food. Surely he needs to talk to John Prescott, a man who, from his own diaries, we know wastes an awful lot of food.
Yeah, there's a difference between being a bulimic and just liking to eat so much that you puke.
I think it's a good point you're making. They say that we waste £400 a year on food. It's not just the food that you throw away. There's food that you have on your face. And also asparagus. How low do you go? Some people just tip, whereas there's a lot of asparagus that you can still enjoy. Obviously, you don't eat the whole asparagus. I'm not a monster. But you do. You can have... There's at least an inch more. My wife leaves a huge amount of asparagus. I think the food wastage.
I think you should say that to the starving nations of the world. You should tell them they're being too picky about how much asparagus they eat.
Asparagus. That was the most middle-class limbo ever. Asparagus, how low do you go?
That's what it's all about, right? Because it's Gordon Brown saying, oh, we're wasting food. It's not like it's the biggest waste of money we have. We spend millions and billions of pounds building weapons to kill shepherds. And you've got someone who spent £7 billion on 2 aircraft carriers this week standing in front of us going, maybe you should keep your potato peelings and make some kind of flan.
Do you think when it really gets bad, this is going to be Marks and Spencer's potatoes? They're just fucking potatoes, all right?
I can see why you didn't get that voiceover. Marks and Spencer's potatoes. They're just fucking potatoes.
I'm slightly confused, though, because we're throwing away millions of tons of food, and yet 25% of the nation is obese, which implies that late at night, fat people are eating from bins. Now, let's be honest, that's a reality TV show we'd all watch, just seeing really tubby people dressing up as foxes.
At the end of that round, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give the points to Michael, Hugh and Frankie. Now we play a round called Britain's Got Jokes. This game involves Michael, Andy, Frankie and Lucy, so you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performance stand-up. We spin our news generator, we pluck out a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the subject. The winner's the team with the best stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first topic is sport. Can have somebody talk about that? Andy.
Not quite sure what sport that is supposed to represent. They're saying, aren't they, you know, basically, we need to spend millions of pounds on this massive Olympic stadium. What are the sports we're world-class at? Pool and darts. We don't need a massive stadium. We need a gigantic Weatherspoons and hold an Olympic quiz night, ladies and gentlemen. You may also have seen, right, Almunia, the Arsenal goalkeeper, he apparently has got ghosts in his Hertfordshire mansion, which he's shit scared of. Now, given that you're a goalkeeper, being frightened of white things that fly through the air, all you've got to do to frighten Almunia is just go up behind him during a corner and just go... OK, let's spin the wheel again.
The subject is relationships. Who wants to come in on that? Lucy Porter.
That's so sweet, see, because my problem is in relationships, I tend to go for bad boys. I always try and see the good in bad boys as well, bad men. Like, you know Osama bin Laden, right? People always go, oh, Osama bin Laden, terrorist, right? And there is that side to Osama, yes, right? But there's other stuff about Osama that people don't talk about so much. It's like, you know, when Osama, he sends us little messages all the time, he keeps in touch. Oh, you know, because in my experience, a lot of men don't do that. And I just think it's really lovely as well, because when he sends us messages, Osama often sends his messages on audio cassettes, and I think it's lovely the fact that Osama bin Laden is the only person in the world still using the audio cassette. It's just brilliant. It just makes you think, how come we haven't caught Osama? Just find out who's buying the C90s. You've got the bugger, haven't you?
OK, we're left with Michael and Frankie. Spin the wheel, please. The next topic is a war on terror. Who wants in? Frankie.
George Bush says that when he retires, he's going to make his living from speaking. Yeah, play to your strengths, eh, George? That's like Abu Hamza having a career doing shadow puppets. I watched the footage of Saddam being executed, and it really made me think. It made me think, is there nothing on the internet that I won't masturbate to? They put his death on YouTube. I mean, it's really got to bring it home to you as a great dictator when your death gets less hits than a fat Korean boy body popping.
Thank you very much, Frankie. OK, Michael, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And it's telecommunications.
From the past. What can I say? Well, yes, phone calls, of course, you phone people who you know. This is the idea. You phone people because you need to phone them, but sometimes you speak to people who you don't know, and you will have the wrong number conversation, something we all enjoy maybe 2 or 3 times a year. One of you thinks it's the right number. So you're phoning somebody who you think you know, because you don't dial numbers at random. This isn't how the system works. You don't just pick up the phone and dial the digits and go, oh, I hope it's Dave. That's not how it works, OK? It isn't Dave. I'll try again. That's not how it works. What happens is that you dial the number. Say, for example, you're calling Sue. You might have spoken to Sue earlier in the day. It might be one of those, I'll call you right back, Sue. And then the number rings, it gets picked up. Hello! But you still go, Sue? Even though you're 99.9% sure that can't be Sue, you think, Sue's the only name I have. I'm going to run with Sue on this. On the off chance they go, it is Sue. Something terrible has happened to me since you called me. Thank God you phoned!
Well done, Michael. And the points go to Michael and Frankie. The next round is called Headliners. In the week of the Church of England Synod, what does CDWB stand for?
Is it Christ disowns weird bastards? Look at them, man. They look like the world's first gay superhero team. Welcome to Fabulous Justice.
Is it Church deploys worst boy band?
Is it Chakademus wows bishops? Chakademus is just out of shot going, tease me, tease me, tease me.
I always thought that was Pliers who did tease me, tease me, tease me.
Pliers, yes, you may be right. Well done for knowing that. I've got a lovely image of you grinding in the 90s.
I used to grind in the 90s. Hey. I may still grind for all you know.
Is it Crikey? Denzel Washington Bishop?
Why? Because sorry. So now all black people look alike.
Don't do that. Do you know, it's a very difficult round.
If you're a racist.
How can I fit my racist ideology into 4 letters?
Is it Church don't want birds?
Is it Christian disco went badly?
It is to do with the women thing, and I think it's the Daily Mail headline, which is Christ didn't wear bras.
Although you're not far off what could be the
correct
answer.
Is it a new song? Cum Dawi below, Cum Dawi, Cum we...
Oh, no. I'll be honest. What was that? How did he sound like he was deaf? What was that?
Is it church dating website backfires?
All right, church is the first word.
Church decision women bishops.
Church do women bishops.
Church deny wearing bedspreads.
The D stands for... It's weird, like, everyone got closer and closer and closer, and then suddenly they're denying wearing bedspreads. Suddenly it veered off towards bedspreads. No, the actual answer is church decrees women bishops. Refers to this week's historic meeting of the General Synod in York, where the Church of England examined the possibility of consecrating female bishops. More than 1,300 clergy have threatened to leave the church over the issue.
Wasn't General Synod the villain in Superman 2? Kneel before synods. I'm all for women bishops, because finally you'll have bishops that teenage boys can have sex with willingly.
I found this out this week. It's only 1.2 million people that go to church every Sunday, which means that more people watch this show than go to church. So in many ways, it's Dara's decision.
OK, I'd love to make the decision on this, right? Because I'm strongly of the belief that, frankly, I'd love to see them crawling back to the Catholic Church, and if the Catholics are going, well. Well. And I'm an atheist, and I'd love that, but I'm a Catholic atheist.
The Archbishop of Canterbury is... he was asked about this issue, and he was asked, what would Jesus say?
Yeah, they keep
Which
doing
is
that,
a big question, and the Archbishop of Canterbury, he said, well, Jesus would be on both sides, and he just answered straight off what Jesus said. And isn't it fantastic to have the ability to play, as the Archbishop of Canterbury has, the Jesus card at any moment? So he's out with his family, they're in Blockbuster, they're arguing what DVD to get. Everyone's like, I want to get the new George Clooney, it's got great reviews. Oh, I don't fancy George Clooney. Oh, but it's a great film, we want to see it. I have spoken to Jesus about this issue. And we were watching the whole 9 yards with Bruce Willis. It's just lovely.
Do you reckon he ever does that? Do you reckon he's ever kind of go, hang on a minute. Really? Fair enough. Sorry, children, you've got to go to bed.
Scripture is definitely weird. You know this thing that says a man who lies with another man should be stoned? It definitely helps, in my experience.
Big fuss about nothing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because surely the head of the Church of England is the Queen. And last time I looked, I thought she was a woman. Maybe that's why Prince Philip... That's why Prince Philip looks so grumpy. He's just suddenly found out.
OK, let's go on to the story which has united the church. Why is this man being causing controversy this week?
Well, he had to baby that man. You can see quite clearly that he's slightly pregnant. He became more pregnant, and then ultimately he had a baby. And normally when you say, is it a boy or a girl, it refers to the baby and not the mother.
Yes, this is the story of Thomas Beattie, known as the pregnant man. He gave birth to a girl last week in Oregon. Thomas was born Tracy and underwent a gender reassignment operation and is now legally male.
Good news, you've had a healthy baby. Bad news, you've blown your cock off.
That's actually good news. That's the main reason why Frankie will never be a doctor.
You got to work on that bedside manner. That really has to. Doctors rarely come in and go, good news, bad news.
It's going to be really tricky to raise a kid, I think, because the kid will be like, I want chocolate ice cream and strawberry ice cream. Well, you can't have both. Really, Mummy? But gender reassignment, is that right?
Yeah. That's what it's called, gender reassignment.
It sounds like witness relocation for your genitals, doesn't it? It sounds like...
It would be a very severe form of witness relocation.
It sounds like you're being reassigned. It doesn't sound like you've made a choice. It sounds like it comes through the post and go, oh dear, I thought it was a BT bill. Yeah. I'm going to be a woman from next Tuesday.
Apparently there's been a mix-up in the National Audit Office.
Reassigned the gender.
Sorry about that, darling.
I bet you any money anyone who went up to them didn't chat about the bump. You'd find any other topic. You get so embarrassed. So, do you like Twixes?
Yeah. I saw a woman breastfeeding on the tube.
It's awkward, isn't it? What'd you do?
No, but it was beyond awkward.
Go on. How is it awkward?
I'll explain to you, Dara, if you'd let me finish. And I think I can prove to you with this next sentence why it was awkward, all right? She was breastfeeding the child, right?
Yes.
With her breast. The child was sucking
I'm very good way of doing it,
on
yeah.
the tube. That is not awkward. What was awkward, Dara, is that she also had her other breast out. Now, I don't know, but I feel that you breast one at a time. You don't leave the other one just hanging out.
Maybe she had twins and she didn't realise she'd lost one of them.
You mean one of the twins may still be on the Jubilee line, and she changed to Green Park, and she went, oh, hello.
Come on, one for the baby, one for the carriage ladies. It's what I've been purposely going to do for years.
Just because you breastfeed, and then if you have to change breasts, I think you put the breast back in.
Isn't it?
But to leave the breast hanging and just to be sitting there... I mean, at least she had a child. I mean, she could have just been sitting there with her tits hanging out.
At the end of that round, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give the points to Russell, Lucy and Andy. Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way over to the performance area, please. I'll call out ideas for scenarios we'd love to see. You know this. And the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is bad things for a by-election candidate to say.
I would like to kiss your baby, but we don't want to go down that road again.
I am the perfect candidate. This is an election, and I am bi.
Vote for me, Doris McGarvey. I'd like to say no relation, but...
I'm not going to lie to you. Power gives me wood.
I've been knocking on doors in this constituency for weeks, and it's completely unconnected to the recent stranglings.
Knife crime must end. Just last week, I was given a steak knife when I clearly ordered the fish.
If elected, living standards will go up. For me and my wife.
I would say the fact that the Labour Party haven't put forward a candidate has not devalued this election at all. Ask my fellow opponents, Timmy Mallet, Elvis and the Honey Monster.
I promise to bring crime in this constituency down by patrolling the streets at night dressed as a man leopard.
I have impeccable green credentials because I've never used deodorant or had a bath.
I know nothing about politics, but I can crush a right pair between my buttocks.
OK. The next topic is unnerving things to hear during a medical examination.
Yes, I'll be operating. Oh, there you are.
Oh, my God! Come here, you've got to look at this!
That's your smear test done, and I do have some bad news. I'm the janitor.
Yes, well, it's definitely stuck up there. We may have to use the ferret.
So if you'd like to just pop your clothes over there, next to mine.
You'll live for about a week.
Well, there's good news and bad news. But don't worry, I can give the good news to your widow.
Don't worry, panic over. It was just a spider on the microscope.
And how does it feel if I touch you here? And here? And there?
These drugs don't actually work, but every time I prescribe them, I get a free pen.
No. You can't have your old hip back, Mrs. Smith. I fed it to my dog.
This is one of the healthiest x-rays I've ever seen. But if we compare that with yours...
Right, I thought for a change, I could cough and you could hold my balls.
You have the body of someone half your age, growing inside your womb.
Well, there's good news. You've had a baby. And the bad news, it's blown your cock off.
OK, let's leave it there, Richard. We're going to give the point to Frankie, you and Michael. And that is the end of the show. This week's winners are Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Michael McIntyre. Commissioner Reporter and Russell Howard. Thank you for watching. My name's Dara Breen. Good night.
Stay with us for even more new stuff next. It's BBC Two's brand new sitcom starring in the thick of it's Chris Addison. Lab Rats in a moment.
Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Ed Byrne and Russell Howard, Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Stephen K. Amos. Our first round is called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board of 6 categories. Stephen, which category would you like?
The economy.
OK, the economy it is. The answer is £100 a day. What is the question?
Can I just say I'm very excited to be here, by the way, and if things don't go too well, I will be playing the race card.
To be honest with you, it's always worked for me.
Is it perhaps? How much Iceland food does the Katona family go through?
Is it what does Jade Goody spend on magic beans?
Is it how much more was Joseph Fritzl spending on groceries than seemed normal for a family of his size?
Yeah, I know we're spoiling that dog, Joseph, but nappies and flip-flops.
Is it how much does Max Mosley spend on plasters? Did you read about that? Spanked for 5 hours. It'd be horrific. I hate it when I stub my toe.
Yeah, but you don't stub your toe with your arse.
Is it how much could you earn if you answered this ad? Work from home, must be gullible, no skills required.
Is it how much is Brooklyn Beckham's pocket money?
Is it how much would I pay somebody to dress up as a lion, go to IKEA and hide in a cupboard?
Is it what do I pay my cleaner not to go to the police?
Is it David Blunkett's swear box as he hangs pictures?
OK, so I get he'd missed the nail because he's blind. Why is he hanging pictures? He's blind.
It is something genuine to do with houses, isn't it?
It is something to do with houses, yes.
What's the average house price going down by?
That is exactly right. Well done, Frankie Boyle. There you go. Yes. The question I was looking for is how much has been wiped off the value of the average British home since January? House prices have fallen on an average of £17,000 this year. Many commentators are talking about the current slowdown turning into a recession. Ooh.
In fairness, nobody's done it like that. Nobody's yet gone, it may soon be a recession.
And it's not a recession. Stop calling it that.
It's not.
Well, it's all in the marketing, isn't it? If you call it recession, that sounds like a bad thing, whereas credit crunch sounds like a flavour of ice cream by Ben & Jerry's.
You can tell there is a recession there, because on Monday there was a headline in the Daily Mail which went, win a £300,000 dream cottage. Tuesday, win a £285,000 dream cottage. Wednesday, win a Vauxhall Zafira.
There was two guides on how to deal with the credit crunch tips kind of thing, and one was in the Guardian and one was in the Sun on the same day. And the Guardian one was like, do your own conveyancing if you buy a house and do your own legal work and that kind of stuff. And the Sun's one was, polish your shoes with a banana. Don't worry, kids, I've lost my job, but we'll be fine. Watch this.
Sorry. Which side of the banana? Do you use the inside of the banana or the outside of the banana?
The skin of the banana.
Yeah, the skin of the banana. Yeah, we used to do that at Scouts.
What, just in
Not all of us had Game Boys, all right?
what, just in case we're lost in the jungle?
and you needed your shoes polishing.
Excuse me, Akela, I want to work for my homosexuality badge.
That's outrageous. You can't accuse me of being a homosexual simply because I like clean shoes. The other day
Yes,
when I
can.
They are very doom and gloom about the whole thing. And it's amazing because when the house prices are going up, it's all doom and gloom because, you know, first-time buyers can't get on the property ladder and people are getting into too much debt and you know, releasing too much equity in their properties and all that. And then when the house prices go down, it's all doom and gloom because house prices have gone down and for something that's just doom. And no one ever looks on the bright side, you know, things like, well, maybe now it's easier for first-time buyers. Or the really good news that 4,000 estate agents are going to go bust. That's a beauty.
Yes, you're right.
Everybody's moaning about money, aren't they? I bet you, even if you got the Queen on her private train, she'd be sitting going, have you seen how much it is for a cup of Darjeeling and a swan roll? It's really... Do you know what I feel really sorry for? Because fuel prices are going up and there's a real credit crunch, isn't there? I feel sorry for those people who have, like, electric Santas and snowmen and reindeers on their roof. They're going to have to economise this year and have just one sign that says scum.
There has been, though, hasn't there? Some other good news. You know, apparently, due to the weak dollar, we're actually earning more in Britain now per capita than the United States of America. So obviously we've had to put up with, you know, their McDonald's everywhere, their Starbucks. Maybe soon it's going to be our turn, you know. We'll be able to go over to Moscow and we'll be able to see Greg the Baker's, Weatherspoons and the West Cornwall Pasty Company. It's a little dream, isn't it?
You gotta have a dream.
Yeah. But it's all kind of knocked on from America, isn't it? The problem
It is essentially, yeah.
Because there's two companies that are in trouble. There was an amazing headline the other day that said Fannie Mae in trouble.
The two largest financial institutions in America are Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. They're shorthand for the Federal National Mortgage Corporation and the Federal Home Loan Mortgage Corporation.
When I read the headline Fannie Mae collapse, I thought Kerry Katona was pregnant again.
I'm not an economics expert, right, about this. I think the general gist of why this crisis is taking place at the moment is because American banks gave lots of mortgages to the studio audience of the Jerry Springer show. It turned out in time that Cletus and Billy Bob couldn't pay back the cash, and now we're all in the shit because of it, right? But just to put it in context, have you seen any of the graphs during this economic crisis, and this is the worst situation that's all there, have you seen any of the graphs of house prices in the last 10 years? Right, just broadly speaking, this is the line. They've been going, woo, bing, and bing is the recession. Right? All of that, woo, and then this little bit is what we're worried about at the moment.
Well, we should look on the bright side, I think, as has been mentioned by Ed. If house prices are going down by an average of £17,000, we could all move up north and buy a house for £1.
There is another advantage, though, as well, isn't there? Is that in the credit crunch that we're now experiencing, we are having to watch less adverts from Ocean Finance. You know?
I passed Howard from the Halifax ads the other day and he had a sign that said, "We'll dance for food."
And also, talking of the adverts, the worst thing is Marks and Spencers have been hit by the credit crunch. So if that spoils their adverts, that'll be horrific. That's the most erotic thing on TV, isn't it? You're sat there, it's the chocolate and the cake. You're sat at home going, I'm going to shag the telly.
There's people been actually nicking stuff from M&S, haven't there?
Yeah.
Lots of people apparently having to tag their frozen chickens now.
They are-
People have been
they are,
running
yeah.
away with frozen chickens. It's not like something easy to nick, is it? A whole frozen chicken. Especially one that's starting to melt. You know, what are you doing? Oh, I'm a pregnant woman and my waters have just broke. It's not...
Maybe the way to get out, right, think being beyond the box is to put a chicken on your head and then start screaming about being genetically modified. Everyone would be terrified about it.
Frozen
It's
chicken.
happened. Yeah, but really go for it. Ram it on. Maybe sellotape it around.
I think it would
And go, and everyone's like, whoa, back off, it's happened. You get home, num, 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 you know? And then you've got
It is an incredible plan. It is just... I can't see a flaw in that plan. When you walk into a shop, you ram a frozen chicken onto your head.
Or sellotape, or blue tack.
Blue tack.
Yeah.
Blue tack, a frozen
Really
chicken.
ram it on.
Really ram it on.
ram it on.
And then go... and that alone have them go, oh, I'm terribly sorry.
Why stop there? Why not have sweeties for eyes and sausages for fingers? Well, nothing for dessert in your plan, Howard? You've just not thought this through, have you?
But we are apparently in the middle of a countryside crime wave. Have you seen this?
Are people stealing chickens?
People are stealing chickens. No, not just chickens. Vegetables.
If I lived in the country, I'd be delighted if someone did a crime, because I'd be bored out of my mind. Thank God you've turned up with a shotgun to steal my rhubarb. Could you kill me on the way out?
There were some people, weren't there, who were stealing lead from church roofs.
Yeah.
But lead and copper and all are being stolen out of churches because the value of it's gone up like 300%. If only we had built our houses out of lead and copper. Wouldn't we be sitting pretty?
When I was a kid, I grew up in a vicarage. And in 10 years... I'm just saying this is nothing... In 10 years, we were burgled 13 times, the vicarage. And on the last occasion, all they stole was my pants.
Were they made of lead?
I've been to C&A or somewhere to buy school... You know, I was about 12. And all I bought was new pants. My mum bought me about 12 pairs of pants. They took every single pair of them.
Were you wearing one of the pairs at the time? Because technically that's a different crime.
Oh, I wish I had been.
I hope one day you see someone in those pants, although I can't imagine how that situation would arise. Well, I might as well try the gay thing once. Those are my pants!
By the way, how are people that's going to plan to save money this summer?
They're going to go on holiday in England.
This is, yes.
Which apparently, that's what the paper said this week, and then it went on to say there is no evidence that this is happening, we just hear it on the grapevine.
Yeah.
It actually said that. In the
Yet
Times.
another way to scare you all.
Have you been to an English seaside town? It's like a holding pen for the Jeremy Kyle show. I was in Hastings last week. I realised that there'd been a battle in Hastings. What I didn't realise was it had just finished.
Nobody wants to go on holiday in England, though, do you? You know,
I actually do.
No,
I
you
like going
don't.
on
No,
holiday
you
in
don't.
England.
You've got no pants. You're a lunatic. The thing is... Don't prove it. Don't prove it.
He does this every episode.
Later, at the end of that round, the points are going to Russell, Ed and Andy. OK, now we play a round called New Spin Me Right Round, Baby Right Round. This game involves Stephen, Andy, Frankie and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We'll spin the wheel and give them a topic and they can step in if they have any jokes on it. The winner's the team with the best stuff. Here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first area is technology. Who wants to come in on that? Andy.
They basically say, oh, technology, it improves our lives. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, does it? Give you an example, missing text. Why do your mobile phone companies send you missing text? Why not wait until they've got the text and then send you that? That would be like sending people an envelope and then putting a bit of paper inside it saying no letter.
Well done, Andy. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is parents. Who wants to talk about that? Stephen came.
Good evening. My parents were very tough when I grew up. As a kid, I'd say to my mum and dad, Mum, can I play outside? And she'd go, shut up, bastard! Play outside, go upstairs and read a book. We had one book, the phone book. I read it. It wasn't a great read. I don't want to spoil it for you. Lots of characters. And at the end, a lot of Polish people turn up. My dad, on the other hand, was the kind of man who played mind games. Think back to when you were kids. Did your dad ever say this to any of you? If you're a naughty boy, the bogeyman will come and get you. Yeah? But obviously not in that voice. In your own dad's voice. I'm not suggesting you wake up one morning in Exeter and your dad goes, "Quickly, get up! The combine harvester has escaped." Thank you.
Stephen came on. OK, that leaves it with Russell and Frankie. Let's spin the wheel. The next topic is the media. Who wants to come in? Russell.
I'll do that. I think the papers are making this country a worse place to live. Don't you feel like that? Just the unremitting horror of the Daily Express. They also just get rid of news and just have every day, "Don't go outside! It's full of queers, blacks and crime! Oh, if only Diana was here!" And you're sort of sat there going, come on. But they're all the same, you know? They're all the same. The Daily Mail every day, "Asbo's Muslim speak, camera, Asbo's Muslim speak." The Sun, "Are you a pedo? Are you a pedo? Have a bang on her tit, 16 today. Are you a pedo?" You know? The Independent, you try and read it, it's like it's grabbed you by the throat. "Are you recycling? Are you? You just killed a polar bear! You!" All the while, the Guardian's in the corner fanning itself with a wall chart. You silly little things. Tell 'em, Telegraph. "Cricket! Cricket!" Too much.
OK, we're left with Frankie. Let's spin the wheel. The topic is... It's the UK. Oh, in Ireland.
I've been touring round Britain. It's been rubbish. We're in Bristol, and everybody in Bristol is just hilarious. There's a guy in a train station trying to buy a sandwich, and the woman goes, "That'll be £3, please." And he goes, "I'm not paying £3 for that." And she says, "Well, it's £3, you know, take it or leave it." And he walked off. And as he got to the door, he turned round and he went, "Well, I'll have the last laugh, right? Because I ain't even hungry." Almost topped by the restaurant I went to in Bristol, where on the toilet wall someone had drawn a massive cock, and along the shaft they'd written, "Bon appetit."
Frankie Boyle. At the end of that round, the points go to Andy and Russell. Our next round is called Newsreel. We play in a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask you to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features French President Nicolas Sarkozy and the royal family.
Ah, Carlo. Now we are members of the Mile High Club. It won't be long till we can get back to our sexy games. Tell me, are you interested in organic biscuits? Well, Charlie boy, what are you on? I see you have noticed my wife. She's a cracker, isn't she? She used to be a supermodel, used to go out with Mick Jagger. Yes, I've invented a car that runs on cheese. What are you on, you fool? Look at her. She has magnificent boobies. Hey, look at those. Huh? You want to see them? You want to see her boobies? Hey, anyone here? You want to see them, don't you? You want to see them? Well, so happens there's a book, you can see them. Ah, Your Majesty, I'm so sorry we are late. Carl and I were stacking over Gatwick. I had to go around 3 times before I made my final approach. Oh, hello, you froggy bastard. Where's the wife? Oh, my God. Oh, look at her. Oh, she puts lead in my pencil. Yes. Oh, you're lovely. Oh, yes. Oh, quick, Carla. What's your number? We haven't got much time. Oh, what I could do with a woman like that, Nicolas, yes. I'd break her in. Yes, treat her badly. Show who's boss. Approach her with a big weapon like the man on my right here. That's it, yes. Oh, this thing, no, this is from George at Asda. Look, here's something for you, Nicolas. It's an army. He won't recognise you. Don't have one in France. These aren't hats, by the way. No, it's their own hair. Oh, let's go for a pint, shall we? Where shall we go? The Fox and Firkin? Have you seen my wife? She's a cracker, isn't she? magnificent boobies, yes. She fancies me, even though I have to stand on a box. Yes, I noticed that. Incidentally, have you seen a program called Wife Swap?
Point for here there. The next round is called Headliners. Here's a typical picture of humble football star Cristiano Ronaldo. But what does RISC stand for?
Is it really? I signed contract.
Is it referees immediately sense cheating?
Is it risky investment, Spanish club?
Is it Ronaldo's irremovable shoe conundrum?
Rich, ignorant, spoilt crybaby.
Is it Ronaldo? Is it Ronaldo is secret creationist? He doesn't believe in evolution after playing with Wayne Rooney for 2 years.
Is it Ronaldo invites sex crime?
It's a new show by the makers of Wife Swap. Every week, Ronaldo invites a sex crime.
This week. Hola. Bienvenidos a Sex Crime. Can we possibly veer towards...
The S is for slavery, isn't it?
The S is for slavery, yes.
Ronaldo in slavery... conundrum.
Contract.
Controversy!
Controversy! It doesn't count if he says half the words.
Yes, the answer I was looking for was Ronaldo in slavery controversy. The Manchester United winger is keen on a move to Real Madrid and backed the words of FIFA President Sepp Blatter, who likened the football transfer system to modern slavery.
Talking of slavery, do you reckon when the Egyptian slaves were building pyramids, some of them are going, this is a disgrace, being treated like footballers?
It is a very distasteful remark to make when these men are being traded for millions of pounds to compare it to slavery.
The thing is, we're saying, what, Ronaldo doesn't have a sense of perspective?
Yeah.
Since early childhood, he has been praised and rewarded ludicrously for having very well-coordinated feet. Of course he's not got a sense of perspective. We're lucky he's not killed someone very skillfully with his feet. There's no point us saying we know what it's like to be Ronaldo. We have no idea what it's like to be Ronaldo. Drinking smart cocktails that teach you capoeira, having sex with beautiful android women. If we had to live Ronaldo's life for 5 minutes, we would shit our brains out of our eyes.
It's a very moving cry for understanding for Ronaldo.
If footballers can be treated as slaves, Max Mosley must be thinking, I got the wrong sport. Don't you think?
Football's just distraction. Distract you from the real world, distract you from the war. Instead, they should replace football with just a guy bringing out a big bunch of keys and going, look at the shiny, shiny. No. We've cancelled the football season. Look at the shiny, shiny.
It would particularly work if you brought out Jangle the Keys and then there were loads of internet sites about, I wonder what keys they'll have next year. Why has Margaret Thatcher been back in the news this week?
She nearly died. Or so I thought. One bloke cheered over there. But, there was a headline about her state funeral, so you suddenly go, oh, she died? No. She's fine, and yet we're planning her funeral.
She was requesting, she's the one involved in the planning.
Right?
Yeah, she's requested like St. Paul's or something like that, and and everyone's just going, yeah, of course, yeah. They would spell your name in fireworks.
I think it's good, you know, give her a state funeral because a lot of people will want to pay their last respects, and a lot more people will want proof that she is really dead. It'll be the first time that the 21-gun salute shoots the coffin.
But what's the point of holding the funeral in London, right? Surely if they held it up north, there would be a much better turnout because there'd all be loads of people in the streets having a party.
How much do you think it's going to cost?
3 million.
3 million.
3 million.
For 3 million, they could give everyone in Scotland a shovel and we would dig a hole so deep that we could hand it over to Satan personally.
Frankie's right. What is that?
It is.
Here's a clip of Margaret Thatcher singing Angels by Robbie Williams.
The great fear is that, where she'd have passed away now, that there aren't enough soldiers around to line the route.
They'll need to
So
line
it would be like some sort of cartoon where you could only shoot it from one side of her coffin, and the soldier would stand there, and then when they're out of shot, they'd run around the back, and they'd just line up again.
I'm fascinated by the flowers in the hearse, because do you reckon they'll have Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher? It might be too long, so they might have to have PMT, which would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Shall I tell you another episode from my life?
No, wait, no, actually, no. I want, rather than you telling me another story from your childhood, I want to pitch this question in, right? Who else received an honour this week?
I did.
That would be you.
I saw
That
that,
would be you. This is a photograph of you receiving an honour this week.
I was awarded it for getting rid of all the rats in Hamlet.
What were you awarded?
I was given an honorary fellowship of the University of Northampton.
Northampton? Isn't that one of those jump dump ones that used to be a swimming pool?
Isn't an honorary fellowship at the University of Northampton similar to getting, like, a VIP pass to Roxy's nightclub in Milton Keynes?
Do you know, if you pull that little cord on the right-hand side, the hat flushes on my head.
That is the campaign poster for Don't Let Your Kids Out of Your Sight.
So at the end of that round, along with everything else he's been given this week, the points go to Frankie Hughes-Stevens! Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way over to the performance area, please. I called ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you're unlikely to hear on a quiz show.
Here is your starter for 10. Spring rolls, sesame toast and chili balls with corn.
Hello and welcome to Ask the Family. Mr. Fritzl, where's the rest of them?
Hello, we're Ant and Dec, and welcome to Double Our Money. Double your money.
I'm Anne Robinson, and if my Botox wears off, my face will turn into a scrotum.
Look at what you could have won if you went to school.
Name? Ted Smith. Occupation? Carpenter. And your chosen specialised subject? The life and work of the carpenter Ted Smith.
For £1 million, complete this well-known phrase. The...
Like a vowel, 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 vowel. Zzz, is the answer.
I'm Richard Whiteley.
Welcome to Inflation Adjusted. Who wants to be a Zimbabwe millionaire?
It's the banker. He says he's got your kids.
And your question is on celebrities. What jocular Irish host of the popular show Mock the Week is known by his friends as Dobby for his uncanny resemblance to the house elf in Harry Potter?
The next topic is things that would change the atmosphere at a dinner party.
Ignore the banging. She's been in there for 24 years.
Help yourself to Nibbles. He was our favourite hamster, but it's what he would have wanted.
Are you sure this is pork? It's just because Mike Crackling has a tattoo.
Don't worry, we don't say grace. We just sacrifice a child to the great god Imhotep.
Doorbell! Excellent. That'll be Heather Mills and James Blunt. Hope he's brought his guitar.
I hope nobody's allergic to nuts, because I like to rest mine on the table.
Well, this is absolutely lovely. I say we all raise a glass to the Fuhrer!
10 of you arrived. Only one will leave.
Anyway, long story short, after about 2 hours, you couldn't tell what was poo and what was chocolate.
There is a vegetarian option. You can fuck off.
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Ed and Andy. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Ed Byrne and Russell Howard. Commiserations to Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Stephen K. Moss. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
The Arnold Feeney Laboratory holds a dark secret, but it comes to light with Chris Addison and Lab Rats next on BBC Two. Then Pensioners Out for a Laugh. Jack and Victor are still game at 10.
Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Danielle Ward and Russell Howard, Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Greg Davis. We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of Prime Minister Gordon Brown this week. But what does BGID stand for?
Is it bargains galore in Debenhams?
Is it Beg Grovel, I'm the Daddy?
Is it? Is it? Blair gone, I'm disaster.
Is it Bran gets Iranians dancing?
Yeah. Is it Brown goes into Dundee?
Things have gotten tough, haven't they?
Blair guaranteed infamous death.
Shot from a moving military helicopter.
Daniel's right, it's bored Gordon initiates drive-by.
So is it bitches get indoors?
Yeah.
It's actually the only time I've ever seen him with a genuine smile sat beside... Normally when he smiles, he looks like he's trying to shit a sea urchin.
It does look strange, I'll give you that.
Bring Galloway in, darling.
Is it Brown gives Iran deadline? Is it
you go sensible now, suddenly. What's going on?
I've never answered correctly in this ever.
And now it makes you look like a points whore for some reason. You've suddenly decided to change. You've actually really thrown me there by going for the correct...
Yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Frankly, you're absolutely correct. It's Brown gives Iran deadline. On his 3-day visit to the Middle East, Gordon Brown has warned Iran that it must end its nuclear ambitions in a fortnight or face international action of no predetermined nature.
He's actually said that he's going to ruin their economy, perhaps by becoming their chancellor for a few years. He gave us incredibly boring speech. He gave a speech in the Israeli parliament where he said that his father used to show slideshows of Israel as a Church of Scotland minister, which might be the most boring thing that's ever happened. That's one step up from Ken Barlow describing the inside of his own eyelids.
Sat there going, it was like a hack comic playing a room, didn't you? Israel, nice to be here. What about Iran, eh? What a bunch of dicks.
He said in the press he was going to take his sons to Israel so that they can learn about the history of the suffering of the Jewish people. And his sons were in the background going, Disneyland, we just want to go to Disneyland.
Ahmadinejad came out and said he wanted to wipe Israel off the map.
Yes.
And you think, is that the Bond villain school of media training? Because don't tell people that's what you're going to do, because they'll try and stop you, surely.
To be honest, we know
He
so
did
little
reveal
about...
his end game a tiny bit too early.
Do you not think, Dora, that I mean, if the whole thing is anybody's fault, it's God's, because he managed to put the centres of Judaism, Islam and Christianity within 300 miles of each other. And he had the whole world to choose from. And then his biggest cock-up was putting the oil there underneath as well. He could have put that anywhere. He could have put it underneath Belgium, but no, he gave them... he gave the Belgians... No. He could have put it there. He could easily have put it there. Instead, he gave them chocolate and paedophilia. How does that make any sense? Yes, you had the whole globe, the whole globe. He could have put...
Well, it does make sense to have chocolate and paedophilia in the same country. That does make
I notice he gets body armour, and our troops, they don't get all body armour, do they? If I was in Iraq, not only would I want full-over body armour, I'd want some sort of magnetic deflector shield and a Harry Potter invisibility cloak.
This is the thing in the Middle East, isn't it? Suicide bombing could have been cleared up years ago if they just forced everybody to wear spandex.
OK, back at home, what is currently being shaken up back in Britain?
Is it the welfare system?
Yes, it is, yeah.
I believe Labour, one of their new policies is to try and get various people who are on incapacity benefit working, aren't they? Apparently there are 2.7 million people in Britain on incapacity benefit. I suppose you should look on the bright side. That does mean we should have a cracking Paralympic team.
I think the incapacity Olympics is a beautiful idea, just because you a skiving 100 metres where people just kind of don't really want to run and get chased by somebody with like a yellow card saying, "Apprentice barman, do you want to do an interview for this?"
Scotland have taken gold, silver and bronze yet again.
Who isn't going to Beijing?
Well, it's Dwayne Chambers, isn't it? Which is very sad, because I want the athletes to take drugs. I mean, do you want to see someone shave 100th of a second off the 100 metres record, or do you want to see them run it in 3 seconds? I don't want to see Dwayne Chambers running on steroids. I want to see him running with the legs of a kangaroo and the heart of a leopard. I want to see him run so fast that halfway through the race he disappears like the car from Back to the Future, reappears at the finish line as an old man, shouts "Beware China" and crumbles into dust.
To be honest, if we're going to take Frankie's idea on, how funny would that... How intimidated would you feel as another athlete to see some bloke with kangaroo legs and the body of a hawk just going, "I'm going to win"? Yeah, I think you probably are.
You're going to win the psychological battle with almost any animal body part, Russell.
That's right.
Do you know what would be great if midway through you got up and you had kangaroo legs and you went...
You think I'd be here if I had kangaroo legs? I'd be on Strictly Come Dancing.
Here's a hot topic question that's burning for me. What have the MOD lost this week?
Oh, they've lost laptops, haven't they?
As ever, they've lost laptops, yeah. The most recent one was lost in the lobby of the Britannia Hotel in Liverpool, where somebody just left it down on the ground and was while checking out.
Who nicked that? A snake? Somebody just goes...
There's people that don't care about their laptops. I don't let my laptop out of my sight just because of the porn history. Where are these people that are going, "Oh, where are those plans for destroying Egypt?" In the cinema.
Your laptop is just like this whispering baby that if you let it... It's like whenever someone tries to check your email, they go, "Can I use your laptop?" "Yeah, I'll put you on the website. You don't need to know anything more. All right, I'm just going to stand here. All right, Hotmail, just Hotmail, is it? I'll type in Hotmail."
Hotmail's a bad one, all right, because you get as far as hot, and then that's a world of pain opening up there.
But you feel like your laptop's going, I know stuff about him. Shut up!
It's brutal. You know the whole thing with these things they lose is they always go, "Oh, don't worry, it's encrypted. There's a password." The people that come up with these passwords are not just computer geeks, they're computer geeks who work for the civil service. How hard is it to work out that password? Buffy? No. Gandalf, there we go.
Did you see, though? there was actually secret documents left on a train 2 weeks ago. The document actually said for US, UK, Australian and Canadian eyes only, and anybody who happened to be on the 5:15 from Waterloo.
Do you know that it must be terrifying switching on an MOD laptop and that wee paperclip coming up and going, I see you want to destroy the Taliban, can I help?
Who is this man and why has he been in the news?
The man is very difficult, Radovan Karadzic.
Oh, yes.
Radovan Karadzic, yeah.
It's amazing, it's amazing it took them so long to find him, because you would have thought that a name like that would really stand out in a phone book.
They said in the paper that he'd been working as an alternative therapist in Belgrade, but I am almost certain that he was Father Christmas at my children's primary school.
So if he was Father... He looks like he's killed... Well, he has. But, how dodgy does he... You'd never hire him as a Father Christmas, would you?
You would hire him as an alternative health therapist, which is how he was working it. This man comes in doing a bit of Reiki and some crystal work on you to go, oh, I feel a bit down.
Tell you what, if that man was offering a cure for hair loss, I would go there.
It's great though, because his neighbours will think that he's a paedophile and it's actually much worse. Only he was a paedophile.
He looks like he might have crossbred with a badger. That's the... that's one thing that worries me slightly about him. I think he might look more sensible the other way up.
No, he just looks like a bearded man dangling, which is essentially what's going to happen, probably, in The Hague. So, at the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Daniel and Andy! Now we play a round called 24-Hour Binge Joking Epidemic. This game involves Greg, Andy, Frankie and Russell. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winner is the team with the best stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first topic is transport. Andy.
Trains are overcrowded, but of course the train companies, they've got an answer for that, haven't they? What do they say? Well, they say, well, actually, overcrowding is quite a good safety measure, because apparently, during the Cannon Street rail crash, those passengers that were stood up like sardines, they were less badly injured than the ones who were sat down. Now, how can you justify something that's only any good in the event of a crash? And what are you supposed to do if your train isn't very crowded? Are you supposed to stand unnaturally close to people, going, I'm terribly sorry about this, but in the event of a crash, apparently, you're my airbag?
Well done, Andy Parsons. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The next topic is teaching. Who wants to come in on that? Greg.
I was a teacher for many, many years, ladies and gentlemen, and I knew the day I had to leave teaching, it was simple, because a very clear sign was given to me that I should leave the profession by a child, because a child walked into my lesson 20 minutes late. I was a very strict teacher. I was livid, yeah? I was almost as mad as if that child had been running in the school corridor, right? I thought, I am having this little bastard. I am having this. So I gave him my most ruthless teacher stare when he walked in, something like... Maybe not that sexually aggressive. It wasn't. That would work. That would work, though, wouldn't it? They wouldn't be late again then, would they? Oh, dear. Where have you been? No, it wasn't right. I was furious. I went, oh, really? Oh, really? And I could see that child didn't give a shit, right? And I thought, oh, no, this is the end of my teaching career. And I went, where have you been? And he went, yeah, sorry, sir. I went, really? Are you? Well, where the hell have you been for 20 minutes? And I promise you, that child looked me in the face and went, yeah, sorry, sir. I've been living La Vida Loca. What can you say to that? I said, fair enough, sit down. Anyone who quotes Ricky Martin at me, ladies and gentlemen, isn't friend for life.
Well done, Greg. So now we have Russell and Frankie, so let's spin the wheel again. The topic is labour. Frankie.
I don't trust Alistair Darling. I don't trust anyone whose hair and eyebrows don't match. I keep wondering what his pubes look like. I wouldn't be surprised if he opened his flies and it was just a bunch of daffodils. He looks tired as well, darling, but then he does have to commute in every day from Tracy Island. Gordon Brown looks tired as well. Gordon Brown looks like a sad face that somebody's drawn onto their scrotum. Sherry Blair had her autobiography out. Can you imagine what Gordon Brown's wife's autobiography will be like? It'll be less eventful than Anne Frank's. Wednesday, stayed in, Gordon cried.
OK, we're left with Russell. Let's see what subject he has. Let's spin the wheel. And it's childhood.
So, I found this out this week, right, that we're giving happiness tests for 6-year-old kids. How ridiculous is that? My friend Wendy's a teacher. Twice a year, there you go. Are you happy? I've eaten my crayons. Which made me happy, so swings and roundabouts, really. Which I also like. It's just the most ridiculous idea. Some bloke arrived. This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. What makes you happy? You! Sneezing. You! I quite like tickling people. You! I like putting marbles up my brother's bum. Now, don't judge me. I did that once. I'm not showing off, but when you're 8 and your little brother's 6, the power you have is incredible. You've got to put some marbles up your bum. Why? If we get enough in there, you turn into a wizard. Fill me up! Fill me up! I will.
Well done, Russell. Points there go to Russell and Andy. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Danielle, which category would you like?
Technology.
OK, your category is technology. The answer is cheese, wine and rubbish. What is the question?
What 3 words best describe France?
Is it name 3 vital ingredients for a mouse orgy? Vital.
Is it when jumping out of a plane and pulling a parachute cord, what is a bad thing to find that you have packed instead of a parachute?
Is it what is the Bible full of?
Is it? Whoa. OK. I'm with you about wine and rubbish, right? But where is the cheese exactly in the Bible?
There's bound there is on the Last Supper. There's bound to be a little bit of brie sneaking around.
What did Orinoco Womble try and sneak into rehab?
What do Kerry Katona's children taste when they breastfeed?
Always.
Yeah.
Every week with the Katona stuff, right?
Is it name 3 things that give Stig of the Dump a boner?
What is Wensleydale, Bordeaux and Croydon?
I get it.
Is it what do Amy Winehouse's tears taste of?
Oh. Is it name...
Before Mock the Week started, Andy, Russell and I toured Britain's seaside towns as which well-loved variety act.
But where's rubbish?
Oh, he can't hear you, children. You have to shout even louder for rubbish to appear. Fuck off.
I made a rubbish. What are my ex-girlfriend's pet names for my testicles and penis?
Is it not? These are... what are 3 things that can be used as alternative fuel?
That's absolutely right. Well done, Hugh. Congratulations. Yes, the question I was looking for was what everyday products are being used to develop new fuels for cars. Scientists are trying to create new sources of biofuels from, amongst other things, algae, sugar, trees and artichokes. If we're building fuel from trees, that's rather a mixed message environmentally fair, isn't it?
Is it not? It's Prince Charles has developed. His Aston Martin is powered by cheese and wine.
But what is described by Prince Charles as surplus wine.
Yeah.
Right. There's an insult in a bag, isn't it? I have surplus wine that runs off from my vomitorium.
He actually described it as leftover wine from entertaining, which might be the least Scottish concept I've ever heard of. Oh, there's some leftover wine from when we were entertaining. Shall we drink it? No, let's make a wacky new fuel.
He apparently, Prince Charles, he's converted his Aston Martin, a Range Rover, an Audi and 2 Jaguars to make himself more green. Now, I'm guessing the easiest way to be more green is not to have a Range Rover, 2 Jaguars, an Audi.
He did, yes, it's his Aston Martin that's running on wine. His private secretary said, I think our wine is surplus English wine, it's wonderful. It's not corked. As if the car gives a shit whether the wine's corked or not.
None of these things actually work. Do you see this every couple of years? Oh, we've got a car that runs on orange juice. It doesn't ever happen. Science presenters are too nice. The science presenters are always, oh, does it run on orange juice? Let's have a look at it running on these cornflakes. Why don't they just get a science presenter that goes, it doesn't run on rubbish. We're not in Iraq because rubbish powers cars. We had to tow it into the studio, put some petrol in it and fuck off.
Did you see one thing, right? There was this amazing story in the week that they're trying to develop a vehicle. It's a good job you didn't see, you'd have headbutted the bloke. But there's this idea that it's not going to have a steering wheel, but you can control it with your mind. So if you want to go left, you think left. You want to go right, you think right. But the problem with that is, of course, the human mind does tend to drift. Why did you crash? I was thinking about whether a cat could beat up a monkey.
Apparently, a lot of British people are now using vegetable oil to power their cars. Apparently it works very well. The only downside is that apparently your car smells like a chip shop, which isn't necessarily going to help Britain's obesity levels, is it? You know? So I see a car go past. Oh, I feel a bit peckish. You have Scottish people trying to get a Mars bar and sticking it inside people's fuel tanks.
You're a racist bastard, Parsons. That's why cheese, wine and rubbish split up, you know.
I think it's great, though, that we have got cars that can now run on waste. Wouldn't it be brilliant if they invent cars that could run on your own waste? You know?
It's a good idea, it's a good idea.
You know, if you're on a motorway, desperate for a slash, you know, police come over, oh, are you urinating in public? No, I'm just filling my tank.
Why would you even... Sorry,
Stay in the car.
I presumed you'd be in the car. Yeah, I presumed the part of the seat would slide back in some way.
Like that, just kind of go.
I presumed there would be like a, oh no, we're short of petrol. We'll make it.
Are we there yet? Clearly not.
With gas bills rising, what advice has one executive at Centrica, the owners of British Gas?
Oh, I love this guy. Put on 2 jumpers. Could he be more evil? Yes, why don't they just put on 2 jumpers? There'll be plenty of jumpers next year in the charity shops once all the old people die during winter. Why don't you all get a big box of straw and try and hibernate in it like a tortoise? If you're having fuel trouble, don't put on 2 jumpers, put on a balaclava and find this guy's house.
Well, the trouble with, isn't it, the old people, they always used to struggle in winter. That was traditionally the thing. Now, there was like summer heat wave, wasn't there, a few years ago, and loads of old people died in the summer.
They couldn't get their jumpers off.
The thing for me is that I don't think there's any way of gauging how hot pensioners should be, because there is no limit to how hot pensioners seem to want to be. Speaking to my granny, I'm pretty sure I could pour a boiling pan of jam in her face. I have walked into there and almost turned into a pillar of salt sometimes. And to be honest with you, if the heat doesn't get you in that woman's flat, then the speakers on the telly will make you mentally ill.
Other than civilians, who else is feeling the pinch?
No, this is the RAF.
It is the RAF, yes.
And they can't. They've decided they can't fly anymore because it's too expensive. So they're doing virtual flights. They're going to do lots of practice on simulators.
Just going around like that?
Yeah. But it's very dangerous. It is very, very dangerous.
I was looking over there. Did you do the face? Did you do it? What you did? Like, yeah. Oh, no, I always did that for that. Like, yeah, that's good.
Prince William, now he's going to have to simulate, you know, won't be able to land in Kate's Garden, have to simulate landing in Kate's Garden.
Is that a euphemism?
Obviously, I would, you know, I'd love to be able to land a helicopter in my girlfriend's garden, only it's a bit small. You know, I might get entangled in the washing line or kill the rabbit. But,
I hope you're still not being euphemistic here.
You don't want to exciting. I'm a man of the world. You don't want to kill the rabbit. Okay, at the end of that round, the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Greg. Now we come to our final quick-fire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if we could all make your way over to the performance area, please. I call it ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is lines you wouldn't hear in a superhero movie.
To the Bat Caravan.
I'm a superhero! Now, Russell, you've drawn an S on your forehead and you sprinkled glitter on your penis.
No, they call me Catwoman because I can lick my own arse.
hey, Lewis, just before we fly off, I want to check none of your liquids are over 100 millilitres.
You're trapped, Spider-Man, trapped in this enormous bath.
No, R. Kelly, you can't join the Fantastic Four. It's not enough to believe you can fly.
Biff! Bam! Kapow! Nutted! Bottled! Slashed!
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Whatever it is, it's heading straight for the World Trade Center.
What do you mean the swastika's already taken? I've had my cape made now and everything.
So, tell me, why do they call you Flash?
Yeah.
I may not seem as dangerous as other supervillains, but soon I, Dr. Sheep, will rule the world. Bang.
What's that, Joker? You'll be back. Somehow I don't think you will be.
OK, the next topic is unlikely letters for an agony aunt to receive.
Dear Deirdre, I'm leaving you.
I want to trace my father. Could you suggest a good marker pen?
I have recently discovered the pleasures of butter in sex. I smear it on the doorknob to stop the kids coming in.
My voice is breaking and there is hair on my chest. Is this normal? Yours, Sally Jenkins, age 9.
Dear bitch, I have trouble making friends. What are you going to do about it?
Dear Deirdre, can that giant man lift me up like a baby?
You bet your ass he
I have been saving up for a sex change. I don't care what my wife says. She is going to have it.
Dear Auntie, my testicles are the size of space hoppers. I don't need any advice. I just wanted to tell someone.
My husband and I are 82, and he has recently lost interest in sex. Thank God!
My wife says that I'm a compulsive liar. I think she's jealous that my reggae duet with Rio Ferdinand has reached number 1.
I know where you live!
My problem is that I can only ejaculate when I hear a buzzer.
At the end of that round, the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Gray. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Greg Davis. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Daniel Ward and Russell Howard. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
More comedy coming up here on BBC Two with a bunch of hippie protesters hauling eggs at the lab rats. Nice one. Then it's Still Game at 10.